sometimes I like to experiment a little bit too much. This tea has ginger, like super ginger. It has cinnamon robust, as well as just normal chai, plus oat milk and maple syrup, and it's a concoction indeed. And I don't know how I feel about it. That's the slurping we all wanted. Anyways, I'm Kira the Scrivener, and today we're going to be talking about reading goals. I do my reading goals very specifically different. I almost always do them numbered, but I'm not like totally tied to these numbers. I just like to feel like I am finishing things, and numbers give me a nice, solid thing to achieve because I am an achiever. I tell myself in the darkest moments. Anyways, first off, my Goodreads goal is 120 books. I don't think I'll have an issue doing this. I picked this because it's about 10 books a month, which is a lot less than I normally do, although, again, I'm trying to spend this year more focused on really enjoying the books rather than getting caught up in the whole trying to read the most books as possible. My reading goal last year was 110, and I read 216, so I don't think I'll have an issue this year. However, I'm not going to up it because we're holding to goals even when I surpass them. Next is the one that I really need to focus on, and that is getting my physical TBR down to 65 books. It would be lovely if it was below. Currently it's at 104 as of January 1st. It's changed a little bit since then, but we're going with that one. And that's pathetic. I did read quite a bit of books off my TBR in 2019, however, I also bought a bunch of books, so we need to get through those, and the first way we're going to do that is through reading 30 classic books. I have 2 shelves of just classic books, and I love classic books. However, often I have this notion around them that I really just need to take my time with them, so I don't pick them up when I can read books where I don't feel like I need to necessarily invest as much willpower into it. And I really do enjoy classics. I enjoy studying them. I enjoy analyzing them. I was that kid who really loved English class. Like, if I just wanted to get an English lit degree because I want an English lit degree, like, it sounds fun. I literally, my local university, it's a really good university, and I just like go through its masters of English lit and I read it constantly, and I'm like, I want to take this class, and then I like take their reading lists and I read them. That's the kind of kid I am. This is probably the confessions I don't need online. Anyways, going on, we're gonna read 20 adult fantasy novels. And adult fantasy specifically because that's what I write in, except for the fact that the majority of the fantasy I read is YA middle grade, which is pathetic. Why, like, not pathetic that I've read YA, but because I write adult, I should be, actually reading what I'm putting out. So that is my goal. I have some awesome adult fantasy that I really just want to dive in and enjoy. And again, a lot of those books take a lot of effort and energy. It's not that I'm afraid to take that energy, it's just that I think in past years I've been caught up in the I want to read so many books, so I don't take books that are, mammoths of thousands of pages because they take a lot of effort and time and all of that wonderfulness. So this year I've just been in a really big, huge, humongous historical fiction desire to read. I have not read that many historical fiction in the last few years. At the end of 2019, I read a bunch. This year, I have so far read 8 books. One I'm almost done, but we're gonna count it as done for the sake of this video. And 5 of those are historical fiction, and the other 3 are classics. I haven't even read a fantasy book yet. What's going on with my system? I don't know. Anyways, but these are books that I just have a drive to read. A lot of literary, a lot of historical fiction. I have a craving for it. I don't know why. I don't know how long it's going to last, but my goal is to read 30 historical fiction this year. And also, I should be saying this, if you have recommendations in these genres, leave them below, because especially historical fiction, I'm practically a newbie to it. I've read a lot of Amish fiction because, what else are you supposed to do when you're a Christian teen? Really, right? But I haven't read that many outside of the Christian genre of historical fiction. I've also read a lot of non-Amish that are actually in historical periods. But anyways, a lot of secular historical fiction I've not read, so I need recommendations. And then I also have 10 literary fiction. This can be contemporary or historical. These can overlap, obviously, but I am very excited to be diving into some literary fiction because I'm pretentious as heck and I need to really just have that all. And then I have read 30 science fiction. I only read 20 science fiction in 2019, and that was shocking for me because I really love science fiction. I love how deep it goes and how wonderful it goes, and I really want to make sure that I am up and reading my science fiction. I don't really like hard science fiction very much. I'm more like the discovery of science fiction, but it's gonna be great. The questions surrounding society and sociology is my jam. And then we have read 25 fantasy. This isn't going to include adult fantasy, so this is going to be middle grade fantasy, YA fantasy, children's fantasy, all of that jazz. And then we have read 10 mystery and horror. I've had cravings for some mystery and thrillers. Once I read Gone Girl, I was like pretty sold on the genre. And I'm really excited to read some Agatha Christie and just explore the psyche of people. Like, as a counselor, that's what I love. And it's lovely. So I don't want like the over dramatic ones. I just want the ones that are like, I guess they're all over dramatic, but you know what I mean? I don't know how to describe the kind of thriller that I like. Probably more domestic thrillers. I don't know. It's hard. And then read 4 horror novels. This is gonna be one. I've said for years that I would never read a horror novel, and then I read The Haunting of Hill House, and I'm in love. Like, I also read The Yellow Wallpaper, that was also really good, but The Haunting of Hill House was, I think, the novel that, like, I just fell in love with. Like, I have Stephen King on my list for this year, and that's, like, something I never thought would happen. So, it's gonna be an exploration. Hopefully, I don't like horror for the sake of horror. I want horror because of, like, the psychological effects of them. So I think I'm mostly going to stay in, like, Stephen King / like, classic horror, but feel free to like, read recommendations for this. I don't like just like blood for the sake of blood. Like, blood doesn't bother me, but like I don't like shock value. I think I just don't like things that are just trying to be shocking. I have a little things for people that just think that they're all that. It doesn't make me happy. And then yeah, other goals that aren't numbers are to read longer books, to really focus on books that I really take my time with and enjoy them and annotate them, and like read more physical books in general. I have a bad habit of that. I think that being ill, it's really easy to read um audiobooks. My brain just went blank for a second. But sometimes it's harder to read physical books because like so often I'll pick up a physical book and my eyes will be like so sore, or I'm like so tired that like I have a hard time focusing. So I really enjoy, like, I love the atmosphere of reading an audiobook because it adds so many elements, but physical books like draw me in such a way, and because I love annotating and lines and the beauty of writing and world building are things that I really truly love. I don't get that the same when I'm listening to it. So I really want to endeavor to do that this year, and it's gonna be great. Leave your recommendations, leave which genres you're planning on reading. Do you think I'm crazy for reading so many books? Probably. Do I have a life? Who knows? We're gonna endeavor to see that. Happy reading, writing, and creating, and you can catch me on social media and all of that jazz, and I'll see you soon. Bye.